Her name is Ponyo. She likes to eat ham. And she can do magic. I got a cut on my thumb and it went away because she licked it. Oh, maybe she could use some of her magic to fix my hips and back. I'd let a fish lick me if it'd get me out of this wheelchair. Sasuke showing Ponyo to Yoshi and Kale. Welcome to Baka Reviews. Today we are reviewing Ponyo. With me is my co-host Boom.
I think I lost the will to live there for a second.
Also with me is my co-host Ramen Cat.
Evening, everybody.
So yeah, we are welcome to episode 3 of Baka-Talk Reviews. Well, I'm adjusting audio.
That quote just spoke to me.
Oh yeah, it's a very inspirational quote.
Very beautiful.
I think it's the best line of the whole movie.
I think you're all high.
Probably that too.
So anyways, we watched it. We're going to go through our normal Baka Reviews thing. We're going to do a recap quickly to remind you what happened in this very weird movie. And then we will talk about the things that we liked or disliked or just what we thought of it.
All right, Mr. Bivouac, give us a synopsis.
Synopsis is there's a goldfish, apparently. A little half goldfish, half girl. It's a fish with the face of a girl that escapes her father and just swims up to shore, and this boy finds her and scoops her in a bucket and then just kind of carries her around everywhere.
Also, her father's a wizard.
Yeah, but he like gets a cut on his finger and she licks it and it heals the cut, and then he brings it to a retirement home because that's where his mom works, and then he goes to school, and then he loses Ponyo. I gotta remember what happened.
Her father comes along, uses his
Yes.
weird water elemental minions.
To recapture Ponyo.
Yep, recaptures Ponyo, takes Ponyo back to his undersea castle.
But because Ponyo licked Sasuke's blood, she can turn into a human now, which she does.
Tries to.
And she has magic and destroys her father's like underground submarine house thing and goes back to Sasuke.
Yeah, and it turns out the Ponyo's father was holding this like well of magic that he was slowly filling up. And as she's like wreaking havoc in this lab area or like the home of the wizard, she breaks the door that's holding it and fills it up, and then basically starts the apocalypse.
Accidentally.
Yeah, it's like if
Right.
the well filled up, it would bring about a age of like water.
The age of the ocean.
Yeah.
Side thing is Sasuke and his mom have his father is away in the Navy and they talk to him
He's
some.
a Coast Guard.
Yeah, he's a Coast Guard, and his mom's upset because his dad isn't around because he's busy doing Coast Guarding things.
Protecting the sovereign nation of Japan, man.
That's really not much important to the story whatsoever, but that also happens.
Yeah.
So after that, she partially causes through trying to, she causes a tsunami trying to
I
Find
know, or
Sasuke.
Find
Sasuke's
Sasuke.
mom.
Ponyo.
Yeah, no. Sasuke's mom starts a tsunami because she's mad. No, Ponyo like nearly kills a bunch of people trying to find Sasuke. She finds him, and then they just kind of like chill out in their house for a while, and then,
As the entire island or whatever just floods.
yeah. So Sasuke's mom goes to the retirement home to make sure they're all safe.
Yes.
Yeah, because Sasuke's mom works at the retirement home.
She doesn't come back for a while, and Sasuke's like, let's go find her. So Ponyo uses her magic to make his little toy boat bigger. They get in it. They go to, they search for his mom. They kind of find her, but before they do, everyone gets in this world, this bubble thing that Ponyo's wizard father made. And there's some test that they have to do to make sure Sasuke's in love with Ponyo, otherwise the world's gonna end. And then Sasuke goes down into that area and they ask him if he loves Ponyo even though she's a fish, and he's like, "Yeah, I loved her before she was even a human." And then they're like, "Cool," and then the world doesn't end.
Because they get married or something.
Oh, they
No,
kiss.
he just keep.
Yeah, the
They're
ending
like,
scene.
it has to be true love, and then you have to kiss her. It's like, okay, and then she like flies in the air, and they like kind of kiss, and then she turns into a girl, and then they're like, you don't have any magic anymore. Now the world's not gonna end.
Yep.
And they're like, cool. And then the moon goes back because the moon was gonna drop on the earth or something. And then yeah, that's the end.
And I wish I could say that was just a horrible way to describe the movie, but it wasn't.
That's about it.
So I think to start off the actual in-depth conversation, this movie is definitely a kids movie.
Yes.
Like 100%.
It is more a kids movie than the other two that we watched.
Yes. Like I think Howl's Moving Castle was rated G as well.
I think it was PG.
Was it PG?
I think so.
Let me look it up. But anyways, so
Yeah, it's a PG movie.
Was it? Okay, that makes sense. So like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, they have some pretty dark themes.
Yeah, there's some more like violence and
And they have
stuff that happens.
almost a little bit more in-depth plot.
Yeah.
Well, like Howl's Moving Castle really had a lot of themes of like, don't let your age bother you.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Yep.
let that be your limiter.
Yep. And then like Spirited Away had themes of
Not losing yourself.
not losing
Yeah.
yourself, basically like taking responsibility for things that has happened, like not like letting things get down around you. But this movie is definitely, it feels like a fairy tale movie
Mm-hmm.
because it was based off of a fairy tale. And if people are wondering, if you can't tell, it's just based off of Little Mermaid. So you have the Disney version of Little Mermaid, which is very very different compared to this movie.
Yeah.
And then you have this, and then you have the original Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale of Little Mermaid. So, but yeah, so the movie to me feels weird. That's the best way I
Yeah.
can explain it. Like watching this entire movie, I was just sitting there half the time, just like, why the heck? I almost said it a different way. Why the heck is this happening? It wasn't even so much like, why the heck am I watching this? It's just more like, why the heck is this happening as I'm watching this movie?
As I watched it, I think it was a good analogy of why you don't hand a child too much power.
Yes, that is true. Like, she doesn't understand the repercussions of what she was doing. She just had a goal and she went and did it.
Yeah.
Right? She wanted to go
Mhm.
find Sasuke again, and she did it.
Which I think, honestly, like, for the kind of an underlying theme, because one of those things is just kind of environment,
Mhm.
like environmental stuff was kind of a background theme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was kind of in a way, and I mean, I'm probably digging around too much for this. It's kind of a good analogy of how like humans treat stuff. They
Yeah,
treat it
sure.
like a little kid. They don't care if they destroy it as long
Yeah.
as they get what they want.
There was a lot of references to that, like in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like when the wizard guy, played by Liam Neeson, by the way, which is amazing.
Yeah.
At least in the English
In the
dub.
English
Liam
dub.
Neeson.
Yeah, he's going through the bin. It's like, oh, humans are
Yeah,
so
it's just trash
dirty and
all over.
disgusting. Yeah, there's a bunch of debris and stuff going all through
I
the
will
water.
say one of the boat that almost the reason why Ponyo meets Sasuke is because she gets trapped in a glass bottle.
Yeah.
The reason she does is because there's a trash trawler actually picking up trash.
Yeah.
They're at least showing we're trying to clean up.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of why it played out the way it did.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like we don't necessarily mean to destroy everything. We just do because
Yeah.
we're so goal driven.
Yeah, and that's usually a common thing when you have like two worlds on Earth like meeting together.
Yeah.
You have the sea, you have the like even if you like most of the kids movies with like I don't know fairies from the forest and stuff like that, they usually have like things of we're cutting down the forest.
Yeah. From Gully.
Yeah, that's the movie I was trying to think of. Yep. I don't know. What is your guys' overall thoughts for this movie? Because I watched it and I'm just like I'm confused.
I really liked parts of it. and I really disliked parts of it.
Yeah.
It was the most opinionated Ghibli movie of the three that we watched, where like parts of it I thought were better than some of the other Ghibli movies, and parts of it were like annoying and way worse.
Yeah.
We'll probably get into more of those later, but yeah, that's kind of how I had it. It's more of an up and down, and I think that's partially it being more kids movie, where some aspects were more like childish, and some aspects were really cool just because I like how they built the world, or I like some of the characters.
Yeah, that would make sense. It does feel like certain parts of it are like really well done and kind of thought out, and then other parts are like, why is this here? And then you
Yeah.
realize, oh, it's a children's movie.
Yeah.
They have to have like entertaining air quotes parts. What do you think, Tomcat?
I don't know. I like it just because it's probably out of all the Ghibli movies I've seen so far, a really chill movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. This story to me kind of takes second place because when I watched it, was more paying attention to the environment and the scenery and stuff. The
Yeah.
town and
Animation in this movie is insane because like everything's in an ocean. It's like every single thing has constant movement.
it was
Yeah.
amazing. Like
It's
the amount of
absurd.
fish and everything that they bothered.
Like
to
it
put
might be a
into
more
it.
simple style than some of the other ones, but the amount of stuff that's in it nonstop is crazy.
Yeah, even when they're on land, like the fact that it's just usually the wind is blowing. and
Yeah.
there's always a little bit of motion.
Yeah,
with
grass is
everything.
swaying.
Or like
signs are
the
moving.
water animation was so cool.
Yeah.
I'm just
See, I think that's
like-
why it seems like so simple because most animated things when there's water, they do it digitally anymore.
yeah.
and it's like all of this was just hand done.
And it's
Yeah.
insane. It's so cool. I can imagine it was so hard to make. They're like, hey,
Well-
we're going to make a new movie. Sweet. It's going to be all about water.
Sure. I only draw desert scenes.
I will say they still have the animator that draws old ladies.
yeah.
Yes, they did.
I know. It's like, wait, isn't that?
Yeah,
Not the
I was
Witch
just
of the
wait a
Waste.
second. Yeah. Could you imagine if the original Witch of the Waste was voiced by Betty White?
Oh, that would have been amazing.
That would have
Okay.
been great.
Then I've never watched the original, but the English dub, I do like all the voices, especially since there's like Betty White, Cloris Leachman, is like the old ladies at the retirement place. Like they just, I mean, they were the era's like old people.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Yes. I was gonna say
I
some
said-
of them are still old, but then I remember I think they're all dead.
Yeah.
I think some of them are still.
I don't know. The old ladies were my favorite characters, besides the mom. The mom was great.
The mom was great. She felt like the most she felt like the most real character.
She was in the wrong show. She needed to
Yeah.
be in My Son Pilots a Mech or something
Yeah,
kind of
right.
show. Where she got like her son's fighting the giant monster and her son's losing, so she goes out with the broom and beats the monster.
What was your overall thoughts, Boom?
I don't know. I liked it, but also at the same time, I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Yeah, probably.
It was like one of those movies. It kind of felt like a Disney movie. Like nowadays, I'll watch a Disney movie. Like I'll watch the new Disney movie or whatever. I'll watch it and then I'll just never watch it again.
Yeah.
Kind of what it felt like in this. It had signs of it being a more modern movie compared to like Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
has-
was more about the art aspect of it.
Yeah, art aspect and less about the story. And of course, this is all taken off a grain of salt 'cause it's just a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying kids movies can't be like in depth and stuff like that, but it's usually not their goal to like create a giant story rich like
Have
movie.
you watched the movie called Labyrinth? That was a kid's movie.
I would like to retort that should never have been a kids movie. Anyways, I liked it. I liked certain scenes of it, but other scenes, like the voice actor for Ponyo, the English version, just annoyed the living crap out of me.
Ponyo is also annoying in the sub, but maybe less so. I don't know. But yeah, she's kind of an annoying character.
I also don't like the fact that it felt like everything was resolved without Ponyo or even really Sasuke's like knowledge of it.
Yeah.
So like the only thing that the
'Cause-
kids actually interacted with was Sasuke was like, "Oh yeah, I do love her."
Yeah.
That was it. Like
That's-
Ponyo didn't get taught a lesson or anything like that. The only reason she's not going to destroy the world again is because she no longer has magic.
It's
Mhm.
kind of the thing, though, of that's kind of parenting in a nutshell. Of my kid just destroyed this thing, and now I gotta fix it.
That's a good point.
I mean, it is realistic, but it doesn't always make a great story.
It doesn't
where
always
it's just
make a
like
great story.
a
but, I
dumb
mean,
kid does a dumb thing and we have to fix it. It's like,
Hey,
that's
it's
the
just
story.
having this dumb fish kid brought the moon down like Majora's Mask or something.
My stupid fish kid almost ended the world.
I will say my new headcanon, because we're talking about this before we started recording, is Ramen Cat brought up the part where it is probably the Nintendo Foundation playing on top of their roof with the flutes.
Playing the time song to put
Yeah.
the moon back.
Put the moon back, put the moon back.
And that's what actually solved the
And
problem.
the
that's
moon goes
exactly-
back.
yeah.
We did it! Let's go make another game, guys.
And it never happened again.
It's either that or Adam woke up in the in Antarctica.
Oh yeah, the second impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got through our first overall thoughts. What are our favorite or big standout moments we want to talk about?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
My favorite moment was the mom Lisa driving away from the giant fish tsunami.
Yeah.
That right there, that like showed like intensity. It was great.
That scene was awesome.
Which
They're
is
also
why
like,
I say
hey,
she
you
should have been a mom in a mech anime.
Right.
There's also that scene where it's like the water's coming. It's like, hey, you gotta turn back. There's no way you can go through here. And the tsunami's coming, and they like take off, and they're like, you gotta get out of here. And she's like, I can time it.
Yeah.
And then just drives through it. Yeah,
Like,
she's
she
awesome.
She needs to be in like the animated version of Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
That's what she did before she got married.
Right. Also, like the scene when they're communicating through like the lights,
Yeah.
like to their dad and stuff.
That's
and,
one of my
And
favorite
she's
scenes.
mad at Sasuke's dad because he's staying like there, I guess, overnight or
Yeah.
something. And in the dub, I guess she just does baka 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 baka.
Yeah, in the original.
But in the English
Japanese.
dub, they have it translated to bug off, bug off, bug off, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, her character's so well done. She's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah. Which is weird because usually a side character like that is not an impact at all, but I felt like she really actually made the movie feel more realistic because it's this mom that has this stupid son of a kid.
Actually, her son didn't really do anything bad. He just got a fish. He saved a fish.
That's
He fell
true.
in love with a fish. That's crime enough.
He's a 5-year-old.
I don't care.
He's like, look, I have a magic fish. It eats ham. Okay, cool. You can keep it. Just don't take it to school.
The only one that realized anything bad was happening was the old lady in blue.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
But she's
She
like, that
predicted
fish
it.
has a face. That ain't
She's
right.
like, that's super cursed. I think we're all gonna die. And they're like, oh, you're so
You're just
superstitious or
senile.
whatever. Yeah.
She was probably
He
one of my
called
other
it.
favorite characters because towards the end, she's basically, I don't care if I die. I'm saving this kid.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That was great. But yeah, those were like my favorite scenes. Mainly the beginning of it, like the interaction between the townspeople and
Yeah.
them driving in the town just felt like a great start to a movie.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I think one of my other favorite like scenes was them on the boat, like getting through the area and seeing all the townspeople on the boats. Like,
Yeah.
like that scene was really cool.
Oh, you're talking at the end.
at the end
where
of the movie,
Sasuke-
yeah, when
Okay.
he goes through,
That
just
was
seeing
really
like the
cool.
world around and all the people doing stuff. A lot of times that stuff is forgotten within stories like this, where it's focused on this one thing, like you have to save the town,
Yeah.
but actually showing what the town is and what the deal is. And then the scene of the mom with doing the lights was probably my favorite scene. That scene was really funny to me.
And it was such a short scene.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy short. But like it had such a like entertaining factor to it.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think, Romcat?
I think my favorite scenes are pretty much. I like the light scene. Like
Mhm.
that one just felt really relaxed. But pretty much any time that was focusing on like Fujimoto, because all the scenes with him in it, there was so much going on around him.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
the wizard.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Ponyo's father.
Yep.
And I like him as a character.
Yeah.
He's not bad. He's just a grumpy, haggard old wizard
Yeah.
Yeah.
trying to protect everything. My favorite was like when Ponyo gets taken away by the kid, Sasuke, and he's walking on shore with the water
Yeah.
sprayer. Like, we don't use
That-
weed killer.
yeah,
like
that interaction-
This is the purest ocean water, so I don't dry up on your cursed land.
Yeah, that interaction was amazing. That was so good. It was so realistic because she's just like,
I
yeah, this
just-
guy's a creep. I'm out of here.
I just
Yeah.
love like just even in general, like the way he moves around stuff is so awkward because he's so used to being in the water
Yeah.
all the time and just doing his thing. He tries to be a good dad,
He does. He's
Yeah.
cool.
but when you have a giant fish wife goddess for a wife,
I
it's
did-
hard to be a
I
parent.
did like her reveal was pretty cool with like the sailors that are like
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
And there's like the big ship graveyard and she like goes through to like save them and stuff. That was kind of cool.
That was really cool.
That was a cool visual scene.
And-
was really cool.
Pretty much any of the scenes with like the old folks in it were good. I thought just kind of happy.
That's a good point. I'd say so as well.
Like they weren't done in that like portrayed like cliche annoying old person. They were old, like all the old ladies at their retirement home. They were old, but they weren't like, oh, woe was me. They were just kind of
Yeah.
sucks that I'm old, but what are you gonna do?
Well,
They-
the cool part was they weren't. Usually, there's two tropes for old people. There's the senile old person
Yeah,
that doesn't have any mental faculties, or there's like the super grumpy, like, oh, the world has like abandoned me.
yeah, and even the
Yeah.
grumpy old lady in this was actually friendly to the main
Yeah.
character. Like she liked him and stuff. She was very superstitious.
Yeah, she's really
Yeah, and the grumpy
superstitious.
lady was like a legitimate good person that's like trying to protect him and stuff by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say I like that ongoing theme of Ghibli films. Is it's still nobody's the bad guy,
mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
which is cool. I don't know if it works for every story, but for some reason, every Ghibli film so far it's worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because they just do the thing. Everyone's got their own goals. I mean,
Yeah.
this was literally just a child wanted to see her friend and was willing to do anything to make sure to see him again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And without realizing the damages that were trying to be prevented. And her father didn't bother to explain anything either.
That
Yeah.
is true. He just said no
Yeah.
and like forced her to like
Stay a fish.
stay a fish.
Evolution
fish.
reverse.
Yeah.
Stay fish.
I did find it funny he had to get drunk to get more magical power.
Yeah. It is funny. It's
He's
just
like, I don't have enough magic.
It's like, oh no, I need more
takes
magic.
a swig out of a bottle.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much all my favorite scenes are anything with him, and I love just his awkwardness when he's like up at the surface, or just when he's like underwater, just all the scenery
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, and also like with the dub, Liam Neeson voicing him just sealed the deal.
That was pretty cool. I felt like Liam Neeson felt out of, forgive the pun, out of water
Yeah,
voicing this though.
yeah, a bit. I mean, I don't know which came first, but like he was doing a run and gun movie
Yeah.
at the same time. So
Yeah, this was the same year, 2008, as Taken, which is like high action. Like
yeah,
he's a murdering machine in that one.
Yeah.
And now he's just like this grumpy old wizard,
I mean,
in this
before
one.
that though, he was a lion in
Aslan.
yeah, in Narnia.
Yeah. Oh, actually, he was that as well this year because Narnia 2 came out.
Was it in 2008 that one came
Yep.
out? Oh, yeah. So he did a few kids movies.
He was
That's true.
busy in 2008.
He was really popular, like during the early 2000s.
Yeah,
like
that's
between
true.
He's
the
still
nine-
really popular.
Yes, he is, but I mean, he's slowed down.
He's
little.
every old man action movie
Yeah.
out there.
Is he in Expendables?
I think he's in one of them.
He's got to be in the Expendables by now, like at least 3.
Yeah, I think he is in like a scene in one of them. He's just like a mercenary or something. Anyways, this is not the or the like episode to be talking about that.
On
No.
to our specific likes and dislikes.
Well,
I have a lot of these.
I was gonna say, would you like to start?
My big specific dislike is Ponyo.
Yes,
I don't like Ponyo.
me neither.
Like I don't think she ruins the scenes that she's in. Like I don't think she's that bad. where like I enjoyed the scene that she's in, like her eating ramen was like a funny scene. Like him just dumping the package in and she's like trying to do the same and just like crushes all of the noodles.
Yeah.
And just like random little things that they do is kind of fun and funny. But as a character, Ponyo is pretty annoying and I never really understood what her deal was. Like, I get she's a kid and just kind of wants to hang out with Sasuke, but I never really felt like I knew why or really
Because she's a child, she doesn't need a reason.
cared.
Well,
But,
the
like,
weird-
Reese hasn't
she-
been around little children.
Well,
has
here's
she?
the weird thing, though.
She literally ended the world to hang out with this kid.
But she didn't know that. And
I
I don't
know,
know.
but,
I
like-
remember as a little kid just basically being like, I will kill anything to go hang out with my friend right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: Sasuke and Ponyo are the same age.
Mm-hmm.
In Ponyo, at least he feels like he is a little. He's got at least a little bit of brains in him. Like he knows when he
Yeah.
does something wrong. He knows, like, I guess he's smart, right?
Yeah.
Ponyo, and I guess maybe this is what they're going for. Feels like a fish.
She is a
has-
fish.
She is.
So-
She's a
she is
fish
a-
with unlimited
yeah.
power.
So
She's like
maybe
this-
that's the problem. Maybe that's why I find her annoying, because I don't like fish that just turn into
Sasuke is a
5-year-olds.
good character. I like Sasuke. He's really cool. He has like things that he's good at,
Yeah.
but he doesn't seem like overly good at things like in a weird
He's just
like way.
He's a nice kid.
He seems like a nice kid that like his father's in the Coast Guard or whatever. So he's got like similar skills and likes what his father does and kind of learns stuff and wanted to
Right.
learn like similar stuff. It makes sense. It fits his character and he's like a above average kid that can figure this stuff out and that's cool.
I don't know. It's used to be pretty normal for a kid at that age in that era.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
I don't know. He's like 5 years old and he like knows
5-year-olds used to be smart.
he knows
5-year-olds
he knows,
used to be smart.
he knows Morse code. That's
well, that's
kind
because
of
he
like
talks to his dad all the time.
I know, but
probably.
that's
like
that's what I mean.
That's the way
because
that
of
scene kind of set up with the whole light thing was like that is a normal average thing
Yeah.
they do constantly.
Like because of his I'm just saying because of his dad and the stuff he and the circumstance that he's in, he's learns these extra skills that like makes him above average kid.
Yeah.
Ponyo is stupid and doesn't like I never really felt like their relationship was anything. Like it never felt like they had a connection. It just felt like she kind of showed up and she liked him and
that's how little kids are.
I know, but there was no like there was nothing that like tied them together that I felt like their relationship was interesting. It was just like Ponyo was there. Most of the time she didn't even talk. She just kind of like sat there and went along with stuff.
It's a boy and his fish.
It was just it was like he was
Yeah.
carrying around her in a bucket the entire time.
Yeah.
She didn't do anything, especially near the end.
And that's what it felt like. I don't know. Maybe we're just too freaking old to maybe understand the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just old man yelling at cloud syndrome. But-
Get out there and start screaming at that cloud boom. I see one right there.
But like, I for one would like a reason behind what's going on.
Yeah.
And like what Wheeze is just saying, like she basically destroyed the world because she liked being around him. To me, just seems like a really lame excuse.
Yeah,
for
like-
a movie.
I'm fine with what like the plot I think is actually I kind of like the plot
Yeah.
overall. But Ponyo's character just feels off. Like she never really it's like they never really understood what her deal was, so they didn't flesh it out enough to make it understandable. Because by the end she just kind of like falls asleep, turns into a fish, and she never really talks, so he's just kind of like walking with her and then it's like, "Oh no, she's a fish." And then
Yep.
puts her in a bucket and then it's like, "Okay."
Well, even like in the
I
Little
don't
Mermaid,
care.
like which is what this is like a direct correlation to. The Little Mermaid, the main character, Little Mermaid, or was her name Ariel?
Yeah.
Ariel sees whatever the guy's name is
Mhm.
for the first time. It's like love at first sight type of thing.
Yeah.
But even still, 90% of the movie is them like falling in love with each other. So that way she can stay human. Where it feels like Ponyo is just like, I'm a fish. I will myself to have arms and legs and talk. I go
guess-
destroy world now.
I guess if like Ponyo and Sasuke had some kind of like and somewhat of a like a problem with each other, like if he got sick of her eating his ham or something,
Yeah.
and like yelled at her, like then there would be something that like brings their relationship more than just she likes hanging around him and he likes goldfish.
Well, even the wizard and the fish mom, fish spirit lady, fish mom, whatever her name is,
Mhm.
they're even saying like, well, there's gonna be a trial.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can make it through it. And I'm like, I'm expecting like dinosaur fishes try to eat them while they're trying to find like
Yeah.
to the old folks' home. But no, they travel, they talk to people on a boat, they travel some more. The biggest problem is they went through a scary tunnel.
Yeah, nothing happened. He like kind of protected her because she turned back into a fish.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Do you still love her because she's a fish?" And it's like, you knew this the whole time that he did because he loved her when she was just a fish. So,
Actually, that's the thing. I don't think the dad really realized that because he was so focused on, I
Yeah.
gotta get her back.
I guess so. But it was funny. They're like, "There's a trial," and then Lisa Sosuke's mom was like, "Yeah." Like encourage him because he'll need it. And then it was like, what does he need to do? Do you love the fish? He's like, yeah. They're like, cool. The moon stopped.
You ask a 5-year-old got famous on the internet because he liked corn a half a year ago. If you ask a kid anything, they'll say they like it.
So yeah, probably my two biggest dislikes were the ending. Like it did feel like there was something set up, and then they're like, oh, we don't have enough time for this. Like the ending just kind of felt like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
And Ponyo as a character is not my favorite. I think she's fine. It's just she never really has any problems or anything that makes me like understand their relationship. It just felt like Ponyo likes hanging out with him and he likes the fish and that's it. I don't care.
I'm
hard to
taking
care.
away from this. We grow up only child.
I don't care.
I'm in the same boat
I
as
don't
him.
care about Sasuke and Ponyo's relationship because there's nothing to it.
There's no trials. There's no like.
Okay.
There
okay.
is no
Guys,
love if there's no like
the
problem for
thing
you
is
to overcome.
human beings or fish children, apparently, before they become the miserable sacks of decayed meat that they are when they get older, children will just be like, they'll be around each other for 2 seconds and suddenly they are like best friends forever type
Yeah,
thing.
but sometimes
It doesn't change and there's not really much depth to it until you become older and your soul breaks.
But sometimes one kid wants the other kid's boat and like tries to grab
Well,
it and
yeah,
they fall down and get
sometimes.
mad at each other.
Sometimes.
Like that's all I need is just something small for them to like get through, but it feels like they're just kind of like scared of each other more than they like each other.
Yeah, I don't
Wouldn't
want.
you be too if your fish suddenly grew arms and legs?
Like I don't want like mid-30s midlife
I know.
crisis of threats. I just
Yeah.
like I was expecting Ponyo to maybe like argue with him while they were
Yeah.
like going down
I
the
think
river
the
or
reason
something.
they don't do that, and I just got thinking of this, is because a little bit of kind of a background thing of it is the polarity of the parents, if you think about it. Sasuke's mom trusts her son and like gives him responsibilities and stuff. Like you see it where he's helping
Yeah.
her out and
Yeah.
stuff. It makes him a responsible kid, which in turn makes him a little bit more calm. Where Ponyo's father just no.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is
You can't do anything. You stay in your bubble with your millions of little sisters,
yeah.
and that's all you do.
That's a good point. Like restrictive parents versus freedom parents.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
a
always
parent
that
that's
more-
like, you can do these things, but it comes with responsibility.
yeah,
Yeah.
more trusting.
And the father never taught Ponyo
But
responsibility.
here's the thing. And here's the thing. By the end of the movie, she doesn't have gained any responsibility.
yeah.
She
one-
lost all her Wi-Fi privileges.
The only thing she had going for her was magic, and she could hold a light.
And
Yeah,
now
like-
it seems like she has a rather strict mom who will kick her butt. if
Like she
doesn't
had
do
her,
what she's
her
supposed to.
powers and that was kind of cool where she's like, wow, she fixed this thing, she healed this person,
Yeah.
she did whatever. But it was like there's nothing really that interesting about it except Sasuke was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and she's like, yay, I did something.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
with it being a kids movie though, too, it's like, yeah, this is just what it is. Just
Yeah.
it's things going on.
I just thought I would have expected more out of Ghibli.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's just the weakest part of the
Yeah,
movie is
exactly.
the main character's relationship, and I feel like that was the main part of the movie, so it kind of that part was disappointing.
Oh, I thought the main part was just all the adults scrambling around back. We're all gonna die.
Oh, that was the best part.
That was the best part of the movie. The best part of the movie was Lisa's character. Like the scene where she gets mad because her husband doesn't come home was a really good scene. That's why everyone likes Lisa the most in the movie.
Yeah.
Because she shows that she's a real character, that she gets frustrated, but then she like gets through it because she wants to like, take care of Sosuke and she doesn't want to be grumpy the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like that was a great part.
That's
where
such a good scene.
right afterwards, Sasuke's like starting to get a little sad, and she realizes it, and she just like, oh, I gotta be like the mom again.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't need to be this way anymore, She's
Yeah.
got to accept it and move on. And that was a really cool scene. Like, even though she got frustrated at him, but she like expressed it and let it out and was like, baka, 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 baka at his dad, which is really funny. And
I love the fact the dad's just like, and all the lights are on. Love you.
his dad,
Yeah.
his dad's great. He's
I
just like,
feel-
I love you.
That would be me if my wife was mad. Like, love you.
Yeah, and she's like,
I feel like he
"Ugh."
had that planned out with his entire crew because he was just like, all right, boys, hit it. And just
Yeah,
like,
like, yay.
Well, I mean, the one guy like on the radar system was like, she's mad at you again.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's part of her like thing too, is like he loves her even though he can't be with her, so she just gets over it because she knows
Yeah,
he still cares.
he's trying.
Yeah, it's just he can't do it.
Just
So
sometimes the moon gets a little too close to your homeland and keeps you from coming home.
Right.
yeah, her, and then Fujimoto is a great character. His like, the thing is, at the beginning of the movie, you're supposed to think he's the villain, and then halfway through, it's just like, oh, he's just a dad.
Yeah.
With a lot of kids.
Yeah,
A lot. Although he could have afforded to put windows in all his stuff, not just bubbles.
That's a good point.
yeah.
He either built or like magically made a submarine with no windows.
Oh, another one of my favorite parts is the slapstick comedy in like the first half of the movie is really funny to me. Like Ponyo just walking up to the window is like, I knew to escape, and just like cuts a hole in it and then just gets blasted with the water.
yeah.
It was
Or just, like,
really funny.
shakes
Yeah.
Because he
through.
was just like, I need to get out. And then it's just like, boom.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
That was really funny to me. There's a lot of moments like that that were really funny to me early on in the movie. Just like him breaking glass and like trying to get her out. Like, yeah, he grabs the rock and she's in that like
Tink, tink,
glass
tink,
thing, and
tink,
he's just
tink.
like, boom, and just like smashes. I don't know.
The water things, like the water elemental things to me were kind of creepy at the start. Not
They
that they're
were.
creepy, just the weird sound they make.
Yeah.
Those things were pretty creepy.
I did find
Especially-
it funny that one of them failed because all the little fish things were like tickling him or something.
Yeah.
And Fujimoto's just like, no, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty funny, I think, the first half of it. And then the second half was more just the plot thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
My only other complaint is there was a prehistoric fish, and when I looked it up, they made it up.
Well, it's Ghibli.
Okay, all their other fish were like, yeah, we have fossils of this thing and this thing and this thing, and I'm like, ooh, look at that thing. Wait, there is no that thing.
Huh. Guess it was just a cool design.
Yeah, it was just a cool
Made it.
design. It was a three-eyed scorpion fish thing.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
That's
The,
cool.
I didn't know
the
it was-
giant thing when they went under their boat, and like, look, it's a yada yada yada.
Oh, I didn't see that as a scorpion-like thing, but
Or
okay.
bug fish. I don't know. It was a giant fish.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Probably a reference from something else.
There was also like the scene of the father like trying to get to the house that they were in, and so he was being like raised up by the
Yeah, that's
The
the scene I
things.
referenced.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they get tickled.
Yeah,
And
the,
then, like-
the water monster getting tickled by all
Yeah.
the young sister.
That was another good like slapstick comedy.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's
I don't know. That was
kind of all I have, I think.
yeah, that's about all I have as well. Like
Oh, I
was-
did really like the old lady. She was a good character, Toki,
The grumpy old
the
lady.
grumpy old
yeah,
lady.
she was
Because
fun.
all of them went into like the bubble thing, and she's like, "No, they won't take me. They're trying to kill everybody."
yeah,
They fooled all them, but
Yeah.
they won't fool me.
yeah, she was great.
I'll be alive.
And the fact that she tried saving the main character too, and
Yeah, it's super cool. She was a great character.
Like all the characters felt pretty realistic. The only thing I wish they would have done is maybe had Ponyo and Sasuke be just a little bit more older than actual 5-year-olds. Because as 5-year-olds I can't speak. Can't speak. Ramakat is right. Like they act like 5-year-olds.
I guess the other thing is they kind of don't too because they seem too perfect. Like,
Except for here's one thing: we don't know what 5-year-olds act like in Japan.
well, like Ponyo.
Oh, they're math majors.
No, I mean that actually is something to take into account. That a lot of little things, like especially like the kids and stuff, seem different because here in America, our children are like goblin hordes that devour and pillage everything.
I mean, they're still just 5-year-old kids though.
Yeah,
The
but-
problem with Ponyo is like she's meant to look like a perfect kid because everything she does is like good that we see.
No, I
Because-
think she's just the sea goddess of destruction.
yeah, because she like she heals everybody. She like fixes the generator and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And then at the end of it, but like in the back of your mind, and in the end of the movie, it shows she caused like every problem. She's like probably killed a lot of people from causing this tsunami to come.
Nonsense.
And-
Everyone was perfectly calm and logical as they were boating around their new lagoon town.
and you're supposed to like it's kind of like it's trying to show you that Ponyo's a good kid when you know logically Ponyo is not a good kid. She's just an out of control child. And that's kind of like hard to like her character.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
It does feel kind of like the movie's lying to you. Like it's like, look, check out this person. She's cool. It's like she's kind of not cool. She's like the antagonist of the movie.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
the
like
villain.
Wheeze
Like,
has just gotten old and bitter.
She's the villain. Sasuke
If Wheeze
is awesome.
is old and bitter, then I'm also old and bitter. So I
Sasuke-
agree with him.
Sasuke is awesome. He's a great character. He's a cool kid. Kumiko, his little classmate that like likes him and is like hanging out with him and trying to become
I
his
felt
friend.
so bad.
She was
for her.
awesome.
Her 2 scenes. Look at my new dress my mom made for me. Gets sprayed on by Ponyo. And then after the world's flooded, hey, can I come with you and help? Nope, I'm busy. Bye.
I also, yeah,
Both times he just kind of like blows her off. Like, I got a job to do.
that was also really funny and really sad.
Although that is a kid when they have responsibility. I can say
It
that
is,
from
yeah.
experience because my niece, who's 5, you set her on a thing and she's just like, this is what I'm doing.
Also, it could be the hint of the way he was raised.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
his dad was a Navy person.
That's
And his
always being
mom is
away.
like, I gotta go.
yeah.
So it's like he's probably used to being around people that's like, oh, I can't do this. I got a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kumiko was really funny. I thought she was a great character that just gets
Yeah.
like totally
Now,
bodied by
Can we address the one glaring problem I think we all can agree on in this movie?
Hmm.
The evil-faced baby.
Oh, jeez. That baby was
That
terrifying. Why? It was a solid like 20 seconds. We had to stare at that.
Yeah. So there is, just for clarity for anyone that hasn't watched this, although I don't know why you're watching a review if you haven't watched this. There's this
See if they like
couple
the movie.
like after the world floods, there's this couple in a boat. It's a husband, his wife, and their baby. But this baby, I think, was a fish they drudged up out of the water and was like, hey, this is our child now because this thing looked like an angler fish.
We'll take what's his name? Poe or Foe from Spirited Away, the giant baby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And put him baby size and make him 10 times ugly.
Yeah. I half expected like the face the baby was making. I thought Ponyo was gonna like turn him into something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It-
you got an ugly baby. I'm gonna turn him
It
into a
did feel
frog.
like one of those moments in like fairy tale stories where it's like, and this baby was mean, so it was cursed to be like
Yeah,
whatever.
it's just that baby.
like it
is
felt like one of those
hideous.
Yeah.
It was a hideous baby. Ponyo was super weird too. Is like, feed him the soup, and she's like, I can't. I have to give him milk. And Ponyo's like, make more milk, and just gives him like all this sandwiches. I was like,
think-
okay, Ponyo.
Thinking about it too, I think that's the one thing too. Not that it was necessarily a theme, but I could kind of see it. Everyone told like Ponyo, "Well, I can't do this. I can't do this." Well, why? No one bothers to explain anything to her.
Well, I don't think the mom wanted to explain.
No, I know,
the,
I know, I
the
know,
milking.
I know, but it goes into that general thing of like adults just never bother to give any form
That
of
is-
reason.
yeah,
True.
like Ponyo wasn't taught anything other than what she knew.
Well, she's a
so-
fish out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Badoosh.
She fish.
You're walking your plank.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. But anyways,
Yeah. So Ponyo.
Ponyo was a good movie overall. I liked it.
Yeah.
I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10.
I give it a solid 7 fishes out of 10 fishes.
I never give a rating.
I know you
Give
don't
a rating.
Come on,
I don't know. I'll give
be
it
professional.
Why? I have to be professional all the time.
You gave the last two a 10 out of 10, so
Yeah.
we'll see if you how much if you like this
I'll
one.
give this one an
equally.
8 out of 10.
He went below
Whoa,
10.
he went below 10. Wild.
He absolutely hated the movie.
Honestly,
I wanted more time with everyone.
That's what it felt overall rushed. I didn't
Yeah.
mention that much, but it.
Like, I would be content if, like, this is the kind of thing with an animation like that and the way everyone was. I'd be content with a movie about absolutely nothing and just everyone going about their business in town. I'll sit there and watch 10 minutes of you pouring tea.
Honestly, I kind of like this movie almost equally to Howl's Moving Castle.
I like so far. It's been in the sequence I've watched them. I like
Yeah.
Spirited Away more than Howl's Moving Castle, and I like Howl's Moving Castle more than Ponyo.
I'm really close between Ponyo and Howl's Moving Castle because I like the plot of Ponyo more than Howl's Moving Castle. But I like
Okay, I can.
I
kinda
like
see
the
that.
overall of Howl's Moving Castle better, but I also like certain aspects of Ponyo a lot more than Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
So
But anyways, that's our overall review for the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're enjoying making these, so yeah.
yes.
Anyways, sneak preview for the next one is gonna be we're reviewing Princess Mononoke. Mononoke, yes, which is actually gonna be the oldest Ghibli film that we have seen to date, and also the most mature Ghibli film we're gonna watch to date.
Yes.
So, has any of you guys seen this yet?
Nope.
Nope.
All I pull away from the artwork is why you don't multi-class barbarian into druid.
That's a good point.
All I saw is Warrior Girl with like blood on her face and a wolf, and I was like, this looks cool.
The only scene I've ever seen of it is when she's like trying to like stab a guy in the throat,
Oh dang.
and she's like, "Don't talk, or else I'm gonna cut your throat out." And he's just like, "I love you."
And thus the first Sundari was born.
That's the only bit I've even.
I do know that there's also like a giant demon boar spirit thing.
Oh heck yeah!
It's like made out of slime.
Well, to
It's
all my
Ghibli.
magic connoisseurs, we all like giant pigs. So
we ramped down. We went from like PG movies to G, then we're going back up to like PG-13 movies, and then watching Spriggan and Akira.
I was gonna say after Princess Mononoke is Spriggan, Akira, and I think Paprika, which is supposed to be like really dark as well.
Can we watch something happy between all that?
No,
We'll put
straight into the depression
maybe
train.
Maybe
Here we
we'll
go.
flip one of them with Fist of the North Star to get some
Yeah.
happiness in there.
Okay. I mean, I've watched reviews of Fist of the North Star, so it's like it looks interesting.
It's gonna be so bad, but I'm gonna enjoy it so much.
I'm just gonna have to find it.
Yeah, I think that one we might want to watch that one all together. We might want to find like where to watch it.
Yeah, there's
We'll see.
a film. There's also like a series too, so it's weird.
We don't talk about the badly done series.
Anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. I have been Boom. I've been with Wheeze.
I'm Wheeze.
I've been also with Ramen Cat.
And I'm Ramen Cat.
And this has been Baka Reviews, the review on Ponyo.
Thanks so much for listening / watching / subscribing on YouTube / liking the YouTube video / leaving comments / giving us 5-star reviews on all the podcasting platforms.
Yeah, that sounds about right. See you all later.
Jam.